standing on our mat. So obviously, you know, you just find your space, and it really is with that idea that you just you take your time and you just make sure that you work within I wanted to say your parameters then, I don't think I've used that word, but you know, what feels right for you. You can push a little bit further than what you think you can do, but obviously if it doesn't feel right, you come back. Right, so feet release hip width apart, and just start by circling your shoulders, and just in a way, just can we somehow let go of the day, what's gone before, and even let go of what might come later? So you're just here. So you can use the feet as well. So as the shoulders rock back, maybe rock onto the heels. As the shoulders rock forward, rock onto the toes. So just come without falling over. So just kind of have a sense of connection from the shoulders through the spine to the feet. And you can roll the elbows rather than think your shoulders. Move the elbows. You might get a bit more of a different kind of feeling. I think we're all suffering from tense shoulders at the moment, and necks and jaws. And then just circle the shoulders in the opposite direction. And then just stop. Maybe shake the wrists a little bit. Just because I'm so aware we're all spending so much time on keyboards and phones and things, so then just let the hands just relax as much as possible. And then we're just going to do some circles. So we're going to soften the knees, because that takes any pressure off the lower back. So we're just going to bring the hands in front, so you're just linking the opposite hand on the elbows, and just smooth the shoulders again a few times. Make sure you can move your neck so you're not tightening anything up. We're not trying to create tension or build muscle, we're trying to get rid of tension, we're trying to free up muscles. And then we're just going to circle, just little circles at first, whichever way you've gone, clockwise or anti-clockwise, it doesn't matter, just a few circles. And be aware that your feet and the lower half of your body is moving in connection with what's going on with the arms. And then maybe you can circle the arms a little bit more fully, I suppose. And as the elbows go down, you can look down. As the elbows go up, you can look up. As the elbows go out to the side, you can feel maybe a bit of a side bend going on. And notice how your feet connect and start to integrate. And then just start to circle in the opposite direction. Just having a sense of connection through the feet. And if this feels all right, you can make the arms longer. So you have a bit more of a lever. So when the arms go down, there's more of a pull through the spine, so soften the knees. As the arms go up, maybe you feel a bit more of a side bend. So you're just working carefully, and you can slow it down. I might be going a bit too fast. Whenever I teach, I think I get a bit overexcited. And then you can just go the other way round. And if it's too much with the arms long, if you're feeling any kind of pull on your back, you can just come back to crossed elbows. Just kind of see where you are. But be aware you're doing forward bends, side bends, and if you look up when the arms go up, if you look up, you're going into a bit of a back bend. So just kind of being aware of what you're doing. You're not just mindlessly swinging the arms. You're aware, you know. And then stop. And then when you stop, you come back to centre, to stasis. Allow the feet to find their place. Relax the shoulders. Relax the shoulders. And then we're going to breathe in, take the arms out. And as you breathe out, just cross the arms across the body. And just be aware what arm is on top. As you breathe in, take the arms out. And as you breathe out, just arms coming with the other arm on top. Breathe in, arms go wide. Breathe out, hug. And then just carry on, just kind of softly hugging yourself, but also kind of being aware that this movement is a really good movement at opening up the muscles in the back of the body, in the upper part of the spine. And when you work with your breath, as soon as we take our attention to our breathing, we're just coming out of that sympathetic nervous system loop, the kind of the part of the nervous system that creates adrenaline, cortisol. As soon as we take our attention to our breathing and work at slowing ourselves down, we come away from that loop. And then when you're ready, just stop, maybe with the left arm on top or left elbow on top, and the hands are just coming behind the shoulders. You can move the head from side to side. You can look up and you can look down. And as you look up, take the elbows up. So go into a slight back bend. As you look down, let the elbows be heavy. You take the elbows forward and up. You take the elbows forward, and this time let the elbows pull the spine down, I suppose. Use the weight of the elbows to allow the spine or the crown of the head to come down towards the floor. Soften the knees. Lift up one heel at a time. And then if it's all right, just let go of the shoulders and see if your fingertips touch the floor. And you can bend your knees, it's fine. And then just touch the fingertips together, round spine, and lift. Take the arms up. Take the arms up. Look up towards the fingertips. And just see if you can lift the heels. It's quite difficult, or it might just be me. And then carefully, as the arms lower, bring the heels down. And then we're just going to do the same on the other side. So we breathe in, we take the arms wide, and as we breathe out, cross the arms, the right elbow on top. When we look up, you take the elbows up. When we look down, the elbows come down. Just kind of getting that sense of connection between what's happening with the arms, with the shoulders, with the elbows, and what's happening with the gaze and with the spine. So nothing works in isolation, and that can also be true of our thoughts. A thought that we have will have an impact on our body. And then when you're ready, just stop with the elbows pointing down and really let go of the weight of the elbows, and that will drag the shoulders. And let's just kind of change it. So now draw the elbows in to bring the shoulders back towards the spine. Move the head, soften the knees. Now take the hands on the knees. Move one knee forward at a time. Move the shoulders. So you're not letting the shoulders drag. You're not letting the shoulders drag the spine down. The shoulders are given back to the spine. Stop with the right knee forward. Place the hand on the belly. Now let your belly be soft. We spend all the time kind of holding our belly in. Let it be soft. And then ever so carefully start to send the left shoulder away from that right knee. Maybe you can turn to look past that left shoulder. Maybe you can take that left arm out. Maybe you can take the left arm up as the gaze goes up. Make sure you're breathing. Lower the arm, come back to centre and lift. Or lift the spine, I should say. And just settle there for a few moments. Circle the shoulders. And then just take your hands on the back of the waist. Your belly is quite soft. You're taking your attention to the back of the waist and you're drawing back towards the hands that are behind you. And that doesn't mean that you're pulling your belly in. We have so much tension around there anyway, so we don't want to create any more. And then when you're ready, when you start to move forward, come up into the hands that are resting behind you. And you might feel your belly lift on the inside, but you're not actively pulling in. And then when you're ready, just allow the hands to rest on the knees. And then again, walk one knee forward at a time. Your belly is quite soft. There's 20 odd metres of organs, and then the kidneys in the back of our body and the intestines in the front. So we don't want to compress. If we tighten or pull our belly in all the time, if we get that habit, then we're compressing and we're creating tension. And that doesn't do well for health. Then the next time the left knee moves forward, try not to lock the right knee. Maybe place the right hand on the belly, and from inside underneath there, turn away from the left knee. So you're turning towards the right. The right arm might go down behind you, palm facing down, or the hand might just rest behind you. Just kind of see where you want to be. So there's no right or wrong. You're working with your body as it is. And as the arm goes up, if it can go up, the gaze can go up. Just making a bit of a rotation. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, lower your arm and come back up to stand, and then just settle. So when I say settle, I suppose I mean stop. So the feet at least hip width apart, allow the shoulders to rest. Maybe take one hand on the upper part of the chest or the collarbones, one hand on the belly, and just feel your breath for a few moments and settle. So it's never a waste of time to stop, because all through the day we're completing lists. So when we stop, we're in a sense giving ourselves permission to do something different, to change habits and patterns. and just to feel and be with yourself. And that's all yoga is really, an understanding of how you are right now. So feeling your breath and allow your belly to be soft, so you're not pulling it in. Those muscles there will work to keep you upright anyway. You can feel the breath underneath the hands on the chest. You can feel the breath inside the belly. As you breathe in, everything lifts or rises. As you breathe out, there's that sense of emptying and a sense of going down into the feet on the out breath. And then when you're ready, we're just going to round the shoulders forward, draw the chin in, bring the hands towards the knees, soft knees. You can walk one knee forward at a time, just as we did before. You can bring the hands a little bit lower towards the ankles, if it's okay. And then just see soft knees. Can you bring the hands towards the floor and just come down? That's it. So you come down into all fours. And when you're in all fours, just shake off one wrist at a time. If it's hard for you on the wrists, you can always, change every now and again, come onto your knuckles, or you can try on your elbows and then come back onto your wrists. Weight bearing is really good for bones, and coming onto your wrists in this way is a strengthening thing. So let's just rock the hips from side to side, almost like imagine you have a tail, so you're just swishing the tailbone from side to side, and you can feel that through the shoulders. You can feel that through the spine or the wrists or the knees, wherever you feel it. And then just come to centre. And then we're just going to lift the right wrist, come up onto the right fingertips. Try not to sink too much into the left. And then we're going to take the right arm forward. And then we're going to sweep that right arm underneath the left till the right elbow comes down. Imagine there's something on the back of the waist pulling you up as you bring the right shoulder down, and maybe turn to look towards that left hand. So the head might come down or it might not, and then come back. And then we're going to take the left arm forward. So you're coming up, don't stretch forward, you're coming up from the floor. Try not to sink into that right hand. Can you still lift the right wrist a little bit? Try not to sink into the back of the waist as you sweep the left hand, palm facing up underneath the right arm. The left elbow comes down, perhaps the left shoulder comes down, perhaps the side of the left head. So you're turning to look underneath the right arm. Imagine the back of the waist drawing up. And to come out of it, go down into the right hand. So bring yourself back up. Rock forward and back a little bit. Just kind of testing the water really, seeing how that is in your body. So as you rock the head forward a little bit, you can feel that in your wrists. As you rock the hips back a little bit, you can feel that through the hips and the knees, or the thighs, or your ankles. Wherever you feel it is where you're feeling it. So you're not mindlessly doing these positions. You're aware and you're paying attention to what's happening in your body. And then when you're ready, just come back to where you started. Focus your gaze down to the floor between the hands, and we're going to take the right arm forward. Now you're not stretching forward, imagine the right arm coming up. And then you're going to come up, bring up the left knee. Just bring up the left knee, the left toes can stay on the floor, and just see, is there a possibility of sending the left leg back? So you're coming up away from the floor, up through the hips, up through the shoulders. Make sure you're breathing. It's a really good one at strengthening the muscles down the spine. Down into the right foot. And then when you're ready, lower the arm or hand, lower the knee. Ease the hips back towards the heels. Make sure you're breathing, because it's easy to hold our breath. And then when you're ready, come back into all fours. Shake off the wrists if need be. And then if it's okay, we're going to take the left arm forward, not stretching forward but up. Left arm up. We're going to come up onto the tips or the back of the front of the right foot, I should say. So you lift the right knee to see how that is, and if it's okay, can you send that right leg back? So we're coming up away from the floor. You're feeling your breath down into the front of the left foot. We're coming up away from the floor, and you can breathe. Try not to sink at the back of the waist. You're coming up through the back of the waist. And then when you're ready, lower the arm or hand, lower the knee, ease the hips back towards the heels. You can make light fists with the hand to support the head, or if possible, the forehead and come onto the floor. Just see where you are. And there's no right or wrong. I know I say these things all the time, and it's, you know, it's not just me, it's your body. You work with what feels right for you. And then we come back into all fours when we're ready. And we're going to just go again, but maybe just, if we can, just increase or progress a little bit, whatever the word would be. So we're going to take the, let's do the right arm, I can't remember. Right arm goes forward and up, and the left leg goes back and up. And then make sure you're breathing, and when you're ready you draw the left knee in and you just lightly tap with the right hand, and then just away and then back in, and just lightly tap. Round the spine when the knee and the hand touch. Round spine. Make sure you're breathing. And just once more. Then the next time the hand taps the knee, just push the knee into the hand. Push the knee into the hand, so you just kind of feel the abdominal muscles fire just a little bit, and then come out. And then ease the hips back towards the heels. And just kind of settle there, just for a few moments. Then we do the same on the other side. So come into all fours, and just kind of get a sense of how it feels. If you sink between the shoulders and sink at the back of the waist, that's kind of the movement we're trying not to avoid. We're trying to avoid, I should say. And if you round the back of the waist and round between the shoulders, that's also a doing movement. So if we now just come to neutral, but we're not sinking, we're not pushing up, that's the kind of move, that's the kind of spine that we're looking to kind of not hold on to exactly, but kind of stay with. So we're going to take the left arm forward, the right leg back if possible. If it's too much for you to take the right leg back, you can just keep the knee down. And then if it's okay, we just round the spine as you bring the hand and the knee to touch, and then you lengthen away. Try not to sink between the shoulders or sink at the back of the waist. You can round the spine as the knee comes in, but when the knee and the hand goes away, try not to sink. And the spine, if you're really aware of what's happening, your spine will naturally round anyway, so you don't have to do that. So we try not to overdo anything. Then the next time the hand and the knee lightly touch, push the knee into the hand. So it's quite a strong kind of doing, and you might feel the abdominals start to work, and you feel that push through the arm. And then let go. Make sure you breathe, and then ease your hips back towards your heels. So long spine. Bring the elbows closer towards the knees. Make light fists with the hand to support the head. And just let the head be heavy. Let the head and the neck be given down to the floor. Lift up one elbow at a time. Relax the shoulders. Can you allow the hips and the lower back to really settle down towards the heels? And just settle. And then we're going to go into a small back bend. So if you take the arms forward, or the hands in front of you, and maybe a little bit wider, and maybe go as far forward as you can. Now, if you do this, if you draw the shoulders up towards the ears, right, so then you're compressing the neck. So relax the shoulders away from the ears. If you push the fingertips forward, you're compressing the neck. So relax the fingers and just ease the fingers, sort of, so you have the inside edge of the thumbs, the base of the thumbs, the inside edge of the wrist, the base, the little fingers, the outside edge of the wrist, the middle three fingers lift, and then bring the middle three fingers down. You're not pushing into the palms because there's an arch in the centre of the palm. So don't push the palms, but have a real sense of connection into the hands. If you push the fingertips away, you're going to feel a stretch in the shoulders. So ease the fingertips back towards the wrists, Wide arms, wide shoulders. Lift your hips, go down into the front parts of the feet to send the top of the head forward through the arms. Your gaze is still down, Go down into the front parts of the feet to lighten the load in the knees. And then as your gaze goes forward and just slightly up, your spine will lift. Down into the front of the feet to allow the upper part of the spine to lift a little bit more. As you go into Cobra, sort of as fluidly and easily as you can. And then carefully ease your hips back towards the heels. And then you can bring the hands a little bit closer in, make light fists with the hands to support the head, or the forehead might come onto the floor. So we're going to go again, but we go in a different way. So come into all fours. You can tuck the toes under or come onto the tips of the toes. Take the hands a little bit further forward, a little bit wider. And then if you feel that you're sinking at the back of the waist and between the shoulders, you know what it feels like to round the spine. So you can round the spine and then just find somewhere in between. Find the outside edges of the wrists and the base of the little fingers. Find the outside edges of the shoulders and the space between the shoulder blades. Find the heels. Where are your heels? If you push the heels back, that will send the hips back. Now imagine your fingertips being drawn back towards the wrists. So now send the heels forward to as though someone's behind you, pushing the heels in towards the knees. And that's what sends your spine forward. When the spine goes forward between the hands, flatten the feet. So use the fronts of the feet to lighten the load in the knees, to free up the hips. And as your gaze goes forward, you allow the weight of your pelvis to be felt. So because your pelvis is heavy, so we don't want to hold on to the lower back, we want to lift up through the upper part of the spine. So that's how we find the back bend or the extension without force. So your gaze is just forward, wide elbows, wide space underneath the shoulders. And then carefully ease your hips back towards the heels. You can make light fists with the hands to support the head, or the forehead might come a little bit lower, so you let go. And if it's okay, we'll just do it one more time. So you can either start from sort of child's pose, or you can start from all fours again. So if you're starting from child's pose, the fronts of the feet are down, the arms are forward, and the arms wide. If you find that when you go forward you get stuck, all that means is you take the hands a little bit wider, take the arms a little bit further away from, because there's no right or wrong, because we all have different length arms and legs and bodies. So when you're ready, we lift the hips ever so slightly, and as we lift the hips, go down into the front parts of the feet. As you send the crown of the head forward past the hands, feel the weight of the pelvis rest towards the floor. As the pelvis or hips rest down towards the floor, not on the floor, you can just take your gaze forward. Widen the shoulders. You're not dragging them down. We're making space between the shoulders to allow the upper part of the spine to lift down into the front parts of the feet to find the extension through the spine. And ever so carefully, you ease yourself back into child's pose. Or if you had enough of child's pose, you can just go back into all fours, maybe, and do a few cat stretches, whichever feels doable for you. A really good exercise at finding length in the spine, and those muscles, particularly in the lower part of our body, just become so tight because we're sitting and gravity pushes us down. So when we do these back bends or these extensions, they lengthen, they refine the length or the height that we have. So coming into child's pose, if it's okay, or if you're in all fours, just allow the head to be heavy. Give up the weight of the head and feel the breath in your body. And then when you're ready, I'm just going to come over onto our backs. So soles of your feet flat to the floor and your knees are bent. And just take the feet a little bit wider. Take the arms a little bit wider. So the elbows can either be bent or they can be long arms depending on how much room you have. But whatever you're doing, you're not stretching your arms. The weight of your arms rests down towards the floor. Then ever so carefully, just going to, I've heard it called windshield wipe the legs. So that the knees just drop over towards the right. And there's a good space between the knees and between the feet. And then just bring the knees up, and then just allow the knees to go over towards the left. Breath in, bring the knees up. Breath out, knees go to the right. And if you close your eyes, just tune into how that feels in your body. It's a really good one at relaxing or releasing any tension or any tightness around the lower spine in particular, and around the shoulders. So allow your shoulders to be heavy And allow your shoulders to be rested into the floor as you just move the knees from side to side. So just moving the hips and the knees and the legs and the feet releases the shoulders and the neck. And then when you're ready, come to centre or bring the knees out. Breathe as you need to and just draw the knees in towards you. So you're not pulling the knees down, the arms can stay as they are. You're not pulling the knees, the weight of the knees, gravity and the forces around us allows the knees to sink. And there can be space between the knees, just kind of allow the weight of the legs to be felt. And then again, you're just going to rock from side to side. So when perhaps if the knees go over towards the left, the right shoulder stays just as it is. So you don't have to go all the way over. The legs don't even have to touch the floor. The left leg might touch, but the right one might stay up. And then leading with the right knee, the top leg, roll over towards the right. And the left shoulder stays just as it is. And experiment with your head as well. As the knees go to the right, do you want to turn your head to the right? Or can you turn your head away towards the left? When the knees come to centre, leading with that top leg, can the head come to centre? And the knees go over towards the right, left, knees go to the left. The head can turn to the left or the head can turn to the right. So just kind of play with it, experiment with where you want your head to be. And if this feels okay, you can maybe work with straighter legs. So there's still quite a bit of bend in the knee, and you can start to take the legs over towards the right, if you've got enough room. And then with straighter legs, there's still a soft bend in the knee, you can take the legs over towards the left, but the shoulders stay just as they are. And you're leading with that top leg. So when the knees go to the right, maybe stop for a few moments. Allow the shoulders to really be felt and given. Then leading with that top leg, the left leg. Move over, roll over towards the left. And the head can turn to the left or the head can turn to the right. So there really is no right way or wrong way of doing it. You're just easing into your body. And if it's too much with straight legs, you can bend the knees back. If it's too much with the feet off the floor, you can bring the feet on the floor. So it's how you develop your own practice, is really being aware of what allows your body to release, to feel pleasant. And then just come to centre when you're ready and bring your feet, soles of the feet on the floor, knees stay bent, arms stay wide if it's okay. And just for a few moments, just feel your body as it is resting on the floor. Take a breath in, filling up the whole of the torso from the collarbones through the ribs to the belly, filling up as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, letting go, release. Let go of the breath, let go of your body, let go of your thoughts. And your breath comes back in. And when you're ready, the breath will just leave. And you might find and you might know that you're actively doing your breath. And you might be able to let go of that control and just allow your breath to be as it is. Allow your body to be as it is. The belly soft, the chest open, but knowing that there's that support beneath. And with your eyes closed, just being with the sensation of your breath as it comes into your body and as it leaves. Knowing that you don't have to control your breathing. Your breathing will happen anyway. All the exercises and the movements that we do aim to free up our body enough in order to feel our breath, to feel that life. And that moment of the breath is that moment that we're alive. So as the class comes to a close, just noticing how you feel right now. Settled, quiet, rested, or something else. And just starting to move when you're ready. So bringing yourself back and knowing where you are. It's the best thing about practicing in your own home. You know exactly where you are and you're safe. So coming back when you're ready, opening your eyes, maybe rolling onto your side, knowing where you are. And only when you're ready, coming to sit up.